Okay, we're live. Thank you all for joining me tonight, the Cinephile World Order, and tonight we're going to be watching Joe Dante's The Burbs. So yeah, the Internet Archive link is pinned at the top there. I believe this movie is an hour and 41 or 42 minutes, so yeah, we should be here for an average of 2 hours tonight, as usual, with a 90-minute feature, and yeah, The Burbs is really up there as one of my all-time favorite movies, on top of being one of my really top three comedies of all time. And it's I know some people will consider this to be a horror movie. When I was growing up and I was, not very familiar with this movie and catching it on TV in parts here and there, I actually thought it was a horror movie. So yeah. But, growing up with this movie and getting older and maturing and understanding, certain movies, I realized very quickly that it's really just a black comedy. And yeah, it does provide horror elements in it. So it's not really, one of your traditional straightforward horror movies, but yeah, I look at this really as just a black comedy, really. So yeah, but yeah, it's another reason why I decided to go with this one tonight is because we recently did Joe Dante's Piranha, and I just figured, why don't we just follow this up with another favorite of mine from him? And if I had to really pick a favorite movie from him, and it's really hard to just land on one title and ignore everything else he's done, but I really think The Burbs is my favorite movie from Joe Dante. It's every summer. I can never get through the season. You never get through the summertime season without watching this at least one time. So this is an annual watch for me compared to some movies where I might not watch them for maybe a couple years or so. But yeah, we'll get to the chat here in a second. We'll probably get the movie. I'm going to try to get the movie started here probably around like the 20-minute mark so we can try to keep this roughly around 2 hours here tonight. But yeah, got a few more things in place with the schedule and everything. So we're getting that a little bit more structure or getting a little bit more structure into the schedule here. But that's pretty much why I haven't been making like a community post or anything about, a monthly schedule because things are just all over the place. So I don't want to say one thing and then go against that. But yeah, that's man, I hate this new setup here on StreamYard, and it's why can't I see the chat? Maybe I'm in the wrong section. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I was in the wrong section, but all right, let's get to the chat, see who's here. Say hello to people. And we got Froggy the Gremlins here. What's up there, bro? I am working at the Rio tonight, so I will have this in my ears. Thanks, Sean. Oh yeah, it's work is definitely more important than content on YouTube. You always got to attend to that stuff. But yeah, it's that's all good, man. Just sitting there listening to it, which is really what I do with a lot of streams. Sometimes I will just have people's live streams on my phone and I'll be doing something else, like, like straightening up my room or whatever it is. I mean, there's even times where I'm cutting the lawn and I just have my phone in my back pocket and have earphones on. And yeah, I'm listening to, content. Sometimes I'll really only do that when I'm like trying to get caught up on a video that might be like over like 20 minutes long. But yeah, I think it's very beneficial to like, stay caught up on content while multitasking with things. It's just something I like to do. I mean, there's even times when I mean, for the most part, when I'm in the shower, I'm listening to music, but there's times where I'll just put a video on. And yeah, I'm not really watching it, but I'm listening to everything. But all right. We got George is here too, the Sailor Outlaw. What's up there, George? Hopefully all is well with you. And Anthony Chob is here too. How are you, buddy? My day was hard. Watching your videos helped me a lot though. That's good to hear, Anthony. And yeah, apparently someone close to you recently passed away. You said something about a drunk driver or something. I mean, that's pretty much the same way. Like my brother was killed. My brother was killed by a drunk driver, so I can relate to that, man. But Yeah, just hang there, if you want tonight, join in and, try to relax and just take it easy if you want to join in and watch the movie with us. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like, when you're going through something like that, not even like music or a movie can get the reality of the situation on your mind. So it's just not a lot you could tell people in those situations, man. That's rough, man, but I'm sorry to hear that. And we got Greg is here too. What's up, Greg Brewer? Yeah, what's up, Greg? Hello all. Hope all is well. Yeah, yeah, everything's going good. Unfortunately, I know you've been trying to help me with that OBS project and everything, and yeah, every tutorial video I look at, it's all for like a PC, laptop, computer, and man, that is just such an involved thing. So I don't know if we're ever going to get that working for streams with playing video clips, but I'm just gonna try to keep searching for things and see if I can come up with something. So maybe we'll find something in the future to where I could play video clips on a stream for free, where it's not like fucking $45 a month. Man, it's just fucking crazy, man. Like even if like I was saying this the other night when we were streaming here. Like even if StreamYard was like 11.99, I'd still be like, eh. I don't know about that. But it just is what it is, man. But yeah, yeah. George is saying Burbs is quite a good movie. Yeah, it really is, man. It truly is one of those movies where I never get tired of it, man. It's like it's just all there's just the over the top comedic moments in this movie. To me, like I can always find myself laughing as if it's a first time watch. I mean, there's some comedies where I've seen them so many times, and I might not be laughing hysterically, but it's still making me smile and everything. But like, nothing really compares to like a first time watch with comedy. It affects you in a comedic way. But I think one of the last movies I can remember like that. Actually, well, I remember when Beau Was Afraid came out. I went into that kind of blindly with no real knowledge of it, and that is labeled as a horror comedy. But going into that, I had low expectations that I would know with newer movies, and didn't expect that movie to be so fucking funny. So yeah, that's definitely a movie that made me laugh my ass off. Even though like the runtime of that movie is at like 3 hours. I feel like a lot of that time could have been either shaved down or just utilized a little bit differently. But I still enjoyed that movie for what it was. It's really one of the last films to make me laugh my ass off. Like on top of another one that came out years ago is Team America. That's another one. But yeah, that's also another one I can pop in anytime and watch that and be laughing my fucking ass off. But at some point, I think we are gonna have to do a stream for that one, man. Team America, oh fuck, man. I wish they still made movies like that with puppets and everything. It's just I feel like we don't get enough of that stuff anymore with newer movies. But I mean, like to do a stream for Beau Was Afraid, probably not. I know it seems like a lot of people did not like that movie, so I don't think that one would work good for a stream. But Team America, yeah, we got to get that one done at some point, right? Can't ignore that one. But oh yeah, I'm sorry about last stream, man. I didn't get the channel links shared out in the chat, but that just means I was, I was just fully, paying attention to the movie and the stream and everything. But I'm gonna work, do my best to try to get some channel links shared out so you guys can subscribe to each other and support each other's channels. Uh, yeah, Greg. Yeah, great cast. In this movie really is. It's just perfect, man. Really is. Highly agree with you there. And yeah, the Gremlins mentioning Small Soldiers. That is another Dante movie, right? That's a movie. I'm glad you mentioned that one because that's a movie I don't have in my collection. I'll have to see if I want to. After the stream, I'll look on the internet see if I could find a copy of that for maybe on a price drop or something. But that's also another one I haven't seen in a very long time. I know that's some of Joe Dante's later work, really. But that's definitely a worthy one to mention, and doesn't really get talked about. I don't see people really talking about that one. I think you could put that one in the underrated realm right there. So yeah, Anthony's all right. So that's good to hear, though, Anthony. Your training's going good. Anthony's saying, "I love the setup." Yeah, thanks, Anthony. It's really, I just have a colorful strobe light going in the back there, and that's like another reason why I go vertically now, because it's just me. And to have it go wide, like, do you guys really need to see my walls all the time? Like, I'm sure that just gets tired, you know, just to see that all the time. Becomes tiresome, I bet. But yeah, it's pretty much why, if I'm here solo, which will be like 90% of the time, I'll go vertically. But if I have someone on the panel, then yeah, I'll go wide. But yeah, George is saying, for me, I love both this movie and the Japanese horror thriller movie, Battle Royale. Yeah, shit. That's another one I need to get in my collection. I'm really waiting to see, you know what? I don't even know if there is a 4K upgrade for that one yet. I know Arrow released a very nice set for that movie before, but that's another one I desperately need to get into my collection. So yeah, that's definitely a worthy one to mention there, George. And I know you're like, you're into all that, or at least just based on like the anime stuff that I see that you're into. It does look like you're into like Asian cinema and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Japanese and Korean cinema, or should say South Korean, really. But I have done a stream. Actually, I think it's the first one on this channel where I did a watch party for Takashi Miike's audition. So I've done a stream for that, but yeah, I'm definitely open to doing other, foreign movies with subtitles and stuff. So we got Shamarlos is here too. What's up there, Scott? Good to see you here. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with all you guys. Just had pork chops, rice, and corn. That's a good combo right there. Yeah, Greg saying, yeah, the Burbs is a perfect satire about yuppies. Yeah, it's very true. Yep, a bunch of fucking yeah, yuppies. It's funny. It's like I rarely ever hear anyone like refer to that. Like use like the word yuppie with this movie. But yeah, it's obvious. Bunch of rich assholes with nothing else better to do, right? I mean, it's even like with like Rumsfeld, he's obviously like a war veteran and everything. And when it comes to like spying on people and all that shit, it's like that's how he utilizes his glory days of being in the military into his neighborhood and keeping an eye on things, even when he pulls out the sniper scope and everything with that giant red lens on it. So yeah, Scott is watching the 13th Friday. Isn't that like a fan movie, 2017? I think that might be a fan movie or something. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, drunk drivers are no good, man. And I got to admit, man, unfortunately, I'm not proud of like admitting this, but like, when I like first turned 21, I used to do it a lot. I used to do it so much, even to a point where like I'd be driving people home sometimes and they'd be like, dude, like you've been drinking all night. Like, how did you just drive that car? Like, you're sober. I'm like, experience, it just, when it's time to drive, it's time to pay attention. But, not everybody can do that. I don't do that shit anymore anyway. I really only drink about one day a week at this point anymore. I usually will drink about maybe like a Friday or a Saturday, but no, there's no operating a car when doing that anymore. But that's the another thing is experience or not, something could happen. Anything could happen. Anything could happen when you're sober. So it's just that shit doesn't mix. But I find myself enjoying drinking when I'm at home anyway. I'm not really someone that likes to go to the bar anymore, which is really the only way I would be in a situation of maybe drinking and driving. But nah, I just can't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, shit's no good, man. No good for society and everyone around you. Oh yeah, people saying hello to each other. Oh, that's one movie that's not up my alley there, George. What's your thoughts, George, over at Sailor Outlaws asking, what's your thoughts on The Garage? Oh, I gotta pass on that one, man. Yeah. I'm not even really a big fan of the Ring movies either. Really not. You know what? I do like the Japanese movie, Ju-on. I think that's what it's called. That's, what The Grudge is based off of. I can get down with that one. Like I do have that on DVD. It's probably in my basement right now, but yeah, I can get down with Ju-on. Like I think that one really does provide some creepy moments throughout it, but like the Americanized Grudge movies just can't do it, man. Just being honest there. But yeah, nothing wrong with, people liking those movies. Anthony saying he wants to see Fantastic Four. I think that is probably, to my knowledge, the next superhero blockbuster. Guess you might even be able to say. But yeah, Froggy the Gremlin saying 4K of Small Soldiers is being released on the 22nd. Oh, nice, man. I'm sure I probably would have like found that out eventually from just being on the internet stuff. But thank you for sharing that. I was not aware of that. Anthony had pancakes for dinner. You can always eat. I eat breakfast related things throughout all times of the day, man. It don't matter. Froggy the Gremlin saying, I stopped drinking tequila and driving when I would end up with a few steaks over black drunk. Yeah, man. Yeah, liquors. That's the shit that hits you quicker, right? So, but yeah, man, that's tequila, man. I'm not big on tequila. I will sometimes drink whiskey. Whiskey's usually my go-to with liquor, but yeah, I mean that rum. I could do rum if it's mixed. I can't do straight rum. I mean, really, like whiskey's the only real liquor I can do with just some ice cubes in, on the rocks or whatever. But all right, so that's it for the chat right now. We got 3 people in the chat, but all right, we're coming up on the 20-minute mark, so we'll probably get this started here soon. But let's just go over the schedule quickly here. Give me one brief moment. This other device does not load very well. Hello. But yeah, the Internet Archive link is pinned at the top there. Like I always tell you guys, should be able to just pull that up and hit play. So it looks like after tonight, we'll be taking a break until Saturday the 19th. Why won't this load? All right. Yeah, so next stream on the channel will be this Saturday, July 19th, which will be the 40th anniversary for George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. And a couple days later on the 22nd, which will be next Tuesday, we'll have the 20th anniversary for Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. And I know Greg Brewer, he requested Hobo with a Shotgun. So we might be able to get to that at the end of this month, going towards those last 2 weeks there this month. So I think we might be able to get to that. And then after Hobo is when I really want to do Grindhouse, the Planet Terror and Death Proof double feature. So if everything works out that way, that's what'll be in the pipeline there with streams and stuff. But yeah, I see that I've gotten actually in like just a 48-hour process, I've gotten 15 new subscribers. I went from 270 to 285, which is it's. It was like what, like back in June, I was like, if I could hit 300 by the end of the year, I'd be happy. So, but it looks like be able to pass 300 a lot sooner. So, but if I could get this channel to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, man, I'd be shocked. I'd be utterly shocked. So, but I know I'm basically getting subscribers right now, really from the short section. It has to be from the short section, and I guess commenting too, just leaving comments and watching content. It's got to be that, because where the hell are random subscribers really just coming from? But yeah, I mean, as far as like views on shorts and stuff, all that's been doing very well. I mean, even the right now, my channel with views that really skyrocketed recently, and yeah, I finally broke that 100K views milestone that people call or whatever. But yeah, I'm at 115,198 views. So that's channel's doing good right now. So I just got to keep at it, and yeah, just stay consistent with making content. So, but all right, I will get back to the chat here in a moment. We're going to go ahead and get this movie started. So give me just a few seconds. Give me about like 15 seconds here, and I'll come right back, and then we're going to get the movie started. So go ahead and get yourselves situated and ready. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get this going, and I'll get back to the chat. So I own the Shout Factory, or Shout Select, whatever you want to call it. I own that Blu-ray, which is a little dull on the features. That's, I don't understand that Shout Select line. It's supposed to be highlighting important movies or putting a spotlight on certain movies that might not get enough attention or whatever. And it's like, well, where's the features at? Why is it so thin? Like, what's the big deal here? But I still appreciate. I always appreciate what Scream and Shout do. It's they might be in the rearview mirror with Arrow Video being first in line for me, but they still they bring us a lot of movies that we want to see. So I can't fully complain with that. But all right, let's go ahead and do a 10-1 now if you're all ready. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play. Bitches. So a little bit of trivia here, which I recently acquired this information. You guys might be aware of this. I wasn't. But the dog in this movie, the dog's name is Queenie, which is Walter's dog. I didn't realize that this dog was actually in some other notable movies. Let me pull up that info again. That little white poodle or whatever it is, I don't know the breed of the dog, but apparently the same dog is also in The Silence of the Lambs, Precious, with that sick fucker. The dog was also in Batman Returns, labeled as the Ratty Poodle. Was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And another one here. Silence of the Lambs. Oh, the Burbs, right. Okay. So yeah, that dog was in 4 other movies before it passed away in 1992. But I found that to be pretty interesting overall. Nothing to get all crazy and dramatic about, but yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still have the Yorkie. She's here. Let me get her out real quick. I'm gonna say hi, Lily. Yeah, I got her haircut last month. She needed a haircut bad, but there she is. Just woke her up. She's like, "What's going on?" So, but yeah, she's 4 years old. She'll be 5 in September. She's doing very well. But yeah, she's like, "What the hell's going on right now? Why did I just get woken up for?" So, yeah, let's go back to bed there, Lily. She's a good dog, really easy to take care of. Sometimes I could barely even take care of myself, but yeah, very easy dog to take care of. But yeah, you gotta love the opening of this movie. How it takes place at night. Just has that real dark theme going on, and Ray walks over. Tom Hanks is Ray Peterson, and he hears all the racket and the noise, and he's seeing the lights come out of the basement and stuff, which almost gives me the vibe. Like I think about it, like I can only imagine what's going on in that basement. It's with how like Joe Dante is and his humor, it just makes me feel like like the Looney Tunes are in that basement, just fucking around, doing whatever the hell they want. But I love it when Ray decides, you know what, I'm gonna cross the neighbor line here. I'm gonna go over there and see what's going on. As soon as he does that, the wind kicks up and all the leaves and the debris are blowing around and shit. It's just a great way to open the movie. Sets the tone very early. And of all these rich yuppie assholes, you got these immigrant weirdos that just stay to themselves. Apparently, they moved in just based on like how like the dialogue goes and they talk about everything. It looks like the Klopeks have been in that house for about like a month now, and as neighbors want to do, they want to be neighborly and say hello and introduce themselves, but not these people. Oh man. Also love that scene with the Klopek son when he's taking the trash out. He's gonna drive that shit to the curb because I guess the trash is so fucking heavy. When he's slamming that stick in there, he's like, rah, rah. That shit cracks me up every time. And you got the thunder and the lightning going and everything. It's good stuff. So now it's the next day, you got the asshole paper boy just chucking papers at people, hits Ray in the chest, and goes and tries to hit him with his coffee. And then Walter's all pissed too because he almost got pegged with a newspaper. He lets his dog down, goes right over to Rumsfeld's lawn, and like you can tell too. That's another thing. Like with all these people, they have nothing else better to do, but spy and pay attention to. I guess you could say neighborhood drama, which is barely anything because Queenie's taking a shit on Rumsfeld's lawn. But apparently, this is valuable information for people with nothing else better to do. But let's get back to the chat. Where did I stop here? Yeah, Corey Feldman. So, when I noticed that scene when it's Ray, Walter, and Art, and Corey's character, which I always forget his name in this. He's just not as involved as most of the neighbors, but like it's that scene when Ray goes to walk the dog and Art is hanging out with Corey or whatever, and shit, this is a little too loud. I don't want that to overpower the audio there. And like Art's like, oh, Ray comes over here to smoke cigars, so he doesn't want his wife to know about it, and he starts. They start talking about that movie, The Sentinel. He's like, "Did you ever see that movie, The Sentinel, with the old guy in the apartment and the gates? He lives in the apartment that's the gateway to hell." This movie made me want to see The Sentinel, and my video store never had that available. For years, I'm like, yeah, I don't even know if it's a real movie or what. And then I think it was about sometime in the 90s. I was over a friend's house, and he had a copy of it on DVD. Actually, I think that might have been around the time I was because I was a senior in high school, and I was just graduating in 2001. So it was around that time. And I was like, fuck, dude, I want to see that movie. Like they talk about it in the Burbs, and to me as a horror fan, they hype it up. So I've been wanting to see that movie, and that movie fucking creeped me out, man. Really did. I know some people might not find the Sentinel to be effective anymore, the 1977 movie, but that one to me provides good atmosphere, man, and like very natural jump scares you can get out of that. I know there's some creepy shit that goes on, like Beverly Angelo, who at one point was married to Al Pacino. I know she's in it. She's like got some really weird like dyke moments in it. She's even like fucking playing with herself at one point, man. It's just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, if it wasn't for the Burbs, I probably wouldn't have been motivated to see the Sentinel, the 1977 horror movie. All right, where did I leave off at? Right here, I believe. So Greg Brewer saying, I've only had Jose Cuervo Black Tequila once, long time ago. Yeah, that to me, that's good stuff, though. I kind of prefer that over the regular stuff. And we got Anthony Mendola. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Yeah, Anthony Mendola's here. What's up, Anthony? Yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. We just got the movie going here, but yeah, thank you very much, man. Creepshow is really up there as one of my favorite horror movies. I'm just a huge sucker for horror anthologies, and just the way it's just horror anthology or just the anthology, like the way. Oh my god, I can't even talk. I'm talking a little too fast, but like I just feel like anthologies work best in the horror genre. Like, one that's not a horror movie that's a favorite of mine too is Four Rooms, the 1995, 94 or 95 that came out. But that one has like the anthology format that, in that movie and how that plays out. But I just feel like anthologies work best with the horror genre. And I just always been a sucker for that. And yeah, Creepshow to me is just the holy grail of them all. So I have quite a few Creepshow shirts. So yeah. It's funny if I had to like pick out like a certain amount of like t-shirts or like pants to wear forever, like this is a long sleeve too. It actually has stuff on the side here. It has like a couple different faces of the creep going down it. But if I had to pick out like if I could only wear like 5 shirts forever and like 5 pairs of pants forever, like all of them would be my creep show shirts. Because like I'm pretty sure I have like 4 or 5 creep show shirts, but I'd be like, yep, taking all my creep show shirts, fuck everything else. This is where Art comes into the movie with his fucking BB gun trying to shoot this black crow. Or it's more than likely a raven. I guess like realistically, like in movies, I know a lot in movies they use ravens as crows because they're just easier to work with. He almost shoots right in the fucking head too, man. So close. But once Art goes into Ray's house, man, this scene here where he's just fucking gulping down this food. He's got pancakes, sausage. I know he goes into the fridge himself, pulls out a whole pineapple and a thing of ribs, and he's really eating this shit. Unfortunately, this actor, I forget his name. I think his name might be Ray in real life. I forget his last name. He died in his early 60s from complications with diabetes and eating like that. Yeah, I could see that, It's just unfortunate because, yeah, this guy who plays Ray, I mean, Art is just really just a big part of this movie. He's really the motivator. He's the one who really gets everyone into thinking that these are grave diggers living next door with the cloaks and everything. Without him, you don't have this movie turn into a full comedic disaster the way it does. Yeah, the Gremlin saying, "Love Jim Van Bever's Deadbeat at Dawn." Yeah, the Manson Family director's cut. I know Arrow released that one. That's another one I'd like to get into my collection at some point. It's another one or slasher one I like to feel like I could do a watch party for. One that just really I rarely ever see people talk about it. Is Just Before Dawn, the 1981 slasher, the backwoods slasher. That one really provides good atmosphere too. So I don't know. I feel like Deadbeat at Dawn just kind of made me think of something, or probably based on the title, Just Before Dawn. That's probably why that made me think of that. But yeah, yeah, director's cut or bust on that with Deadbeat at Dawn. That's for sure. And Anthony's saying, I'm here because somebody from the Horror Green Book. Not sure what that is. Maybe that's Facebook or something, but sounds good, man. However you got here is perfectly fine with me. But yeah, good to see you here. Ray's son comes in, they're actually talking about, Ray's talking about how I'm probably going to go over there today and go say hi to the neighbors and everything. And this is where his son was like, I was spying on them the other night. And they were digging up stuff in their yard. And then Art's like, kind of like grave diggers. He's just fucking inhaling pancakes right now. Like, Jesus Christ. I could never eat like that, no matter how hungry I am. Anthony's saying he's got Burbs on VHS. Shit, man, I don't see many people ever really present like a copy of the Burbs on VHS or anything. So yeah, I'm sure it probably has that classic artwork with Ray on the cover there. Probably the dark background with the lightning bolt, him holding the hose and the newspaper or whatever. but that's cool to see. Yeah, I gotta get channel links shared down there in a moment. No tan lines this morning, Mrs. Rumsfeld. Looking good. And Rumsfeld's like, that kid next door is a meatball. It's so true. Gremlins is, are you going to be picking up any of the new Severance summer sale titles? Nah, too much money for me, man. It's kind of hard to put the word sale next to Severance. It's a shame because, like, I really don't want to say anything bad about Severance, but just they're so overpriced, man. That's my only issue with them because other than that, they do a great job with everything, always providing features, very solid transfers, artwork. I like the black cases on the Blu-rays and stuff too. But nah, I passed up on that. I really I know like every summer around this time, it's the halfway point to Christmas. Everyone does sales. I just picked up a couple things on Amazon. Like I just picked up the 4K for Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, and I had Amazon rewards credit. So I actually managed between getting this on sale for like $15.99, and I had Amazon rewards, which reduced down to $6.29. I managed to get this for $6.29. So I did get some other things that aren't really like right here for me to pull out right now, but yeah, I just bought a couple things that were price dropped on Amazon, and that was it, man. But like honestly, I usually try to wait with Severance stuff along with Vinegar Syndrome stuff till like Black Friday. That's when I usually wait to buy a lot of that stuff. So we'll see what happens once we get around to that time again in November. But yeah, Gremlin though, if you got anything from the Severance sale, you just let me know down in the comments there. Had the Burbs on VHS back in the day, Greg saying, okay. That's your comment there about the Yorkie there that I saw before I got back into the comments there. This is where Art and Ray are talking. They're looking at the house, and the youngest Klopak is coming out like it's coming outside like fine, like everyone's in shock. Everyone's stopping what they're doing. They're looking at the house. Everything like, oh my God, someone came out of the house. I believe that's the same actor in Children of the Corn as what's his name again? Malachi? Yeah, Malachi. That's the same actor. Outlander. We're gonna leave off that. Rumsfeld, they're daring each other to ring the doorbell. Go for it, Mr. Peterson. Yes. Good going, man. Yeah, Corey Feldman's really good at having that kind of like California surfer accent, you know, kind of like that pothead surfer kind of accent. Now it's playing out like a western and shit as Ray and Ray and Art walk up to the house. But this really is one of my favorite scenes in the movie too. Because Art is like goes through the fucking the patio up there, goes through like the whole floor, the flooring right there, and then when they knock on the door, the address symbol falls over. It turns to 666, and all the bees come out. Man, that shit just it never fails to make me laugh. It's fucking big ass hole in the porch already. uh, no, not Precious. Yeah, Precious is in this movie. I didn't realize that. So I found that info to be interesting, which is definitely, another good thing. It's, when I go back and do streams for stuff, I sometimes I dive into, information on movies or some kind of trivia I might just stumble across, but, they're getting stung by the bees and Rumsfeld. Come to me, run to water. Bunch of fucking lugheads. This is like God. Gotta love the fact too that Rumsfeld, like, he has like one of the most unique flagpoles I've ever seen. I mean, he has a button for it to go up, to take the flag up, and a button to bring it down again. Like, talk about being dedicated to your native country's flag. Is that dog Slavic? I think it might be safe to say no. Yeah, what was that horror comedy? Night of the Yorkie Werewolf or something like that. It's a shame. It seems like the artwork on that's better than the movie itself, which is usually a lot. It's usually the case with a lot of movies. I guess for Art to have that bee in his mouth, it must be like that situation. Apparently, in movies, like when you're working with bees, you freeze them, and then when you bring them out of the freezing process, apparently they're not very active and don't have their senses back again for like a full 11 minutes. And I guess that's, when they bring them out of the freezing process, they're probably like, all right, everybody get into places. We're gonna roll camera here. We gotta hurry up before these bees get to their senses and start stinging people again. But then again, I know there was also like a certain other breed of fly or bee or some kind of fly that looks like bees that you can work with that doesn't have a stinger to hurt you or anything. Well, we're coming up to that scene here soon with the whole talk of neighbor green sky. What's that saying? Neighbor take flight or whatever. I forget what he's saying. I'll figure it out here in a moment. But we're coming up to that whole Sentinel part here. Yeah, but when I was a kid, I really thought this was like a legit horror movie. But I would just randomly catch this on TV sometimes, and I mean, like, catching the part with like with Art holding the femur bone, like, I'm like, oh my god, it's got to be a horror movie, right? Just even looking at the Klopek's house, that right there is enough to really make you think you're watching a horror movie at a young age. Froggy saying she's a show dog with papers, dude. Oh man, that's another one we got to get done. I did do a watch party for the Big Lebowski a couple years ago on my birthday, but yeah, that's another top comedy right there for me is the Big Lebowski. Fucking 8-year-olds, dude. Walter Shellback. Don't fucking roll on Shabbos or whatever the fucking holiday he's talking about. Made up fucking Jewish holiday or some shit. Fucking 8-year-olds, dude. Froggy not taking your turn. Yeah, that's what Anthony's saying. Not going to buy the beer. I'm not going to buy the beer, dude. Yeah. This is where Art goes and talks about this neighborhood guy, this guy that was like selling like ice cream or whatever, and he like hacked up his whole family and shit. And Ray's like, I remember that. I was a kid when that happened. And Greg saying, "Would have been funny if, yeah, would have been funny if Mr. Rogers was in the Burbs." Yeah, I mean, technically, he pops up on the TV in this. He does pop up on the TV. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Living in Pennsylvania, being in like I know the whole country had access to watching Mr. Rogers, but I feel like being from Pennsylvania, it was kind of like on TV a bit more than like anywhere else. So like, yeah, I definitely grew up with Mr. Rogers, that's for sure. You know what's funny though? Like, I did watch that they released a documentary about him like a few years ago, might have been through Netflix. And some of the people that were talking, like I know, like even like one guy was like talking about him, and apparently like Child Protective Services and like even the FBI at one point, they were trying to like dig up information on Mr. Rogers because apparently there was rumors going around that he was like some kind of like pedo, like interested in kids, and people would always try to dig up some kind of dirt on it. And once you dig up some information and you're a legit person, you realize like no, the guy was a straight arrow. He was how you saw him on TV. But that just sucks, like you could be like, the most perfect human being in the world and you have someone trying to fucking, ruin you or whatever. But obviously nothing like that ever happened to him. But I just find it fucking crazy that like people wanted to waste their time on trying to dig up some dirt on Mr. Rogers when it just never existed. Gremlin saying American League 4, National League 6, bottom of the 7th. I haven't watched a beat of the All-Star game, but probably just going to catch up on the highlights of it. I was watching some of the home run derby yesterday though. But for years, man, like even in the 90s, it'd always be like the American League winning it, like all the time. But I'm still not really down with the fact that like whoever wins the All-Star game, if it's the National League or the American League, that league gets home field advantage in the World Series. So it's like, what the fuck? I mean, it puts some kind of significance in the All-Star game. Makes it a little bit less boring, I guess you could say. But I just think that's kind of fucked up for the team that should have the home field based on how well they did with their record in the regular season. I just not really down with that. But it's all whatever at the end of the day, though. And yeah, Anthony's saying I'll always be a sucker for anthologies. Yeah, I mean, I just like you see the icon on my channel. It's the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. It's my favorite television show of all time, and yeah, something I'll never get sick of doing. And like even mentioning that right now, like might even fucking do a ranking stream on that. Maybe when the Halloween season comes around, like maybe we'll do that on the channel. I've never done that before. Maybe we'll do like a ranking, go through all the episodes, but not a fan of the 7th season, to be honest with you. It's really the only one I just can't stomach that one, man. I can appreciate what they tried with that and how they they tried to continue the show, but once it went to the UK, man, that shit was just too goofy, man. But all right, so yeah, Greg's saying I like how Tom Hanks' friend puts the empty syrup bottle back in the fridge. Yeah. Yeah, you have to like really be paying attention to that, like what's in his hands and stuff to see like, he's like so wrapped up in conversation, he's just throwing whatever back in the fridge. But you know what though? I've been like growing up with friends and stuff, I've seen people put maple syrup in the fridge, like willingly. So some people do things differently, man. But no, that shit should stay in the regular cabinet, like right above the sink or something. Like I love when like Corey Feldman's like, him and his girlfriend. She's like, "Well, what are we gonna do tonight?" And he's like pulling out all the lawn chairs to sit on the porch. And he's like, "Can't we just go to a movie?" Like, nah, this is better than a movie. This is my neighborhood, man. Well, if I was her, I'd be like, "Fuck you, go get screwed, man. I'm gonna go find something else better to do. I'm not watching your neighbors be fucking retards all night." But then again, I don't know, man. If I lived on this block, I'd probably get a kick out of hanging out with these old goofballs. I mean, Art, I probably couldn't hang out with Art. I'd probably be telling him, like, dude, you talk too much, man. You need to really go find something to do. I feel like I could hang out with Rumsfeld. Definitely, could be staring at his wife for a while, too. I feel like I could hang out with Rumsfeld and have a couple beers. Klopak? Nah, no sardines and pretzels for me, man. But I feel like I could hang out with some of these people, but who knows? And hey, Gremlin saying just before dawn has a great lo-fi score with the whistle. Right? Yes. To me, makes that very iconic in a way. It just makes the movie noticeable and stand out. Stand out compared to other slasher movies. And yeah, the killer, and it's very creepy too. That fat guy wearing the fucking the orange hunting vest and everything, and his choice of weapon with the machete. Now the Klopeks are up to some crazy shit. All the lights are going in the basement. It really makes me feel like the Looney Tunes are in the basement, fucking doing God knows what. Man, it's just even the sound effects sounds like a fucking hydraulic wheel spinning. It's like wait, 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 wait. God knows what's going on over there. Rumsfeld, what the hell was that? It's like they're cooking a goddamn cat over there. Oh, don't get down. They're coming out. Yeah, they're hiding behind the trash cans now. This is where the youngest Klopek's coming out now. They're going to take the trash out in the car. I love this fucking scene. And Greg saying, Hardware 1997, my only 7 release, upgraded to the Umbrella 4K. Okay. That's a movie I got to pick up too. It's honestly a movie I would like to just see again, and I'd be open to doing a stream for that one too. I'm sure by the end of the year, I'll probably find a way to get that one scheduled on the channel. And even like another reason why I mention that is because it's been a long time since I've seen Hardware. I think that has what's his name, Dylan McDermott in that. I think if I'm right, I think he's in that. You see the Klopek now; he's taking out that heavy trash. I guess it does make sense. Like, I mean, I guess that trash has got to be as heavy as a body, and for him to drag that from the house, like from the garage there to the trash, it would probably be too much. So I guess he does have to, drive the trash there. But when he brings out the garden hoe to smash it down, this shit cracks me up, man. He's just smashing the shit out, the lightning going. Oh my god. And just even his fucking wardrobe too. He looks like some kind of like ghetto Amish thug that was like shunned from the Amish community or something. Like, oh man, his fucked up teeth too, man. Gremlin say, I never get anything during the sales either. The reveals are not too good this year for me. Okay, I don't even think I paid attention to that, but yeah, I tried to just watch my money this summer, and I'm really trying to make sure I'm ready for when, the Black Friday stuff comes around, because that's when I'm usually seeing and benefiting from, movie sales and stuff. But it's always a good question to see, to ask and see what people get though. So, and Guy is here. Caveman movies and more. What's up there, Guy? Hey, all, put the bunny down and hit the big button here. Yeah, thanks, Guy, and yeah, hopefully all is going well with you there. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by and hanging out here. But yeah, if anyone needs an update on a timestamp, we're already a half hour into this. I'm up on 31 minutes right now. That's where I'm at. And I love when Ray reacts to the trash being taken out there. He's like, I've never seen anybody drive trash to a curb and smash it with a stick. And then it starts raining, and then Corey and his girlfriend like, oh, Rain delay, bummer. Is a good response to that. Oh yeah, Art really is getting into Ray's head about all this BS with Gravedigger, or the Klopex being grave diggers and all this shit. Once I get caught up on stuff here, I'll get some channel links shared out. Nobody move where the bunny gets it. Yeah, Con Air, man. It's another one. We did do that one last June. We did a watch party for. Obviously, that was on the old channel that got terminated. So yeah, doing Con Air. I'm open to doing Con Air again. That's for sure. Such a fun action movie. That's another one I don't think I'll ever get tired of. Ray looking out his bedroom window in the rainstorm, and to him it looks like he's seeing, people digging graves out there. His mental state's really getting to him, with Art getting in his head about these hooded fucking grave diggers and shit, man. A perfect scene. And even, just even the looks on Tom Hanks's face, on Ray's face, and they all agree, tomorrow at first light, we're gonna check that trash, And this is where we get Dick Miller as the trash man in this movie. I love Dick Miller in the fucking dream sequence. When Walter shows up, he has an axe in his head and shit, and Dick Miller's like, boy, that looks like it hurts. Garbage, hey, garbage man, hold on a second. Art's running out of the house. I love that Tom Hanks movie, Big. Yeah, I think Big was probably like the first time I really recognized Tom Hanks, like in a movie as an actor. I think that would have to be it, but that's another one. I think for all of us that grew up in the 80s, it's just a movie you could just, always watch and never get tired of. But yeah, Big is just, yeah, that, to me, like growing up in the late 80s into the 90s and stuff, that was like a perfect movie to watch when it was like raining on a Saturday. You'd have the weekends off from school, you want to go out and do something, but no, it'd be raining outside. That'd be like the perfect movie to watch on TV as a kid, if it's like raining out on a Saturday. Where did I leave off at? Never get. Oh, I already read that. Oh, here we go. Greg saying Big is when Tom Hanks' career really took off. Right. That's right. Such a good story too, even on top of like all the performances and everything. Just a really good story. And another thing is I'm a sucker for anything that has like a carnival setting, even if it's just a brief carnival setting. I love that. Which is another reason why I really like Ghoulies too. Even though Ghoulies 2 is a little over the top and ridiculous, it's not like it's some award-winning movie, but it really does a good job at, presenting a really cool atmospheric carnival setting. Which is another reason why I'm a big fan of Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse, the 1981 movie. And Froggy the Gremlin saying, do you have a P.O. box to send you some movies? I don't have a P.O. box. I have an email address, so I can give you my address if you like. I mean, I'm sure we could probably do some kind of trade off or something. I have some things in my collection that I'm like either have doubles of, or things that I just didn't return or whatever. Or actually, I have a lot of stuff where I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't need this stuff, but I don't want to throw it out either. But I'm sure we could probably do something. So if you go to my channel and you go to my channel and you find all like the channel info, my email address is in there. It's horrorcommunity666@gmail.com. We can exchange info that way. Unless you have Instagram, I have Instagram. We could message each other on Instagram. That link is also down there in the channel info. what is that thing called? Like the channel profile on YouTube. If you go to that, you can get my you'll see the horror community 666 at gmail.com address. But yeah, I just no, I don't have a proper mailing like a PO box. I don't have a proper one like that. I know a lot of people do on here. I just don't have one. But yeah, if you just go to my channel, you'll see the link there for Instagram and then the link for my email address. And yeah, all that's highlighted, so you'd be able to click on either one. But yeah, that's the only way you and I could really you know, exchange information and contact each other outside of this stream. Gremlins say my favorite Tom Hanks movie is The Lady Killers. I've never seen that one. And you know what's another one I want to see is the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can. I think that's what it's called. Those are two Tom Hanks movies I really want to see. Another one that's really good, I feel like doesn't get mentioned a lot. Well, I mean, it gets talked about. Definitely does. There's no doubt about that. I just feel like as like if we're talking about Tom Hanks movies, is The Green Mile. I feel like that movie kind of gets it'll go like lower on people's list, or people just don't even mention it. But I think he's really good in that too. Now this is where they decided, you know, they're gonna break into the Walters house because Walter's missing now. They're suspecting that the Klopeks have something to do with Walter's disappearance, and Rumsfeld's wife is taking care of the, you know, the poodle and everything, which is as we you know, we mentioned that info here. That's the same dog from Batman Returns, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and say Batman, yeah, and then Silence of the Lambs. It's the same dog, but yeah, I did find that information to be very interesting overall. But yeah, I do want to see the Lady Killers and Catch Me If You Can. That's another one I want to see. We can't see them all, man, but you know we can only try to work our way up to seeing all these movies. But that's another thing I like about having a channel, man. Getting recommendations from people, hearing people just talk about certain things. I find that to be a really good motivator to get around to seeing things because sometimes I'm aware of some things I haven't seen. I put them on the back burner in my head, and then I just forget, and then I never fucking see them until I'm motivated. You know, I just find myself to be more motivated to see certain movies I haven't seen. I'm more motivated through this, you know, this platform here with YouTube, with you know, just communicating with people. And I did the oldest glow back there, taking his head out of the window. The window's open, but you can see that the screen is all fucked up and it's all rolled up. And he's like sticking his head out. Ray's like trying to talk to him right away. He ignores the shit out of him. Yeah, Greg, that's a really good scene too, man. But you know what? I want to know because we're coming up to that scene now. What is the first movie that comes on the screen? It's some kind of like devil worship movie. Like they're doing like a human sacrifice. I can never figure out what that movie is in it. But yeah, obviously, you know, it's he's flipping through the channels and he comes across Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. But if somebody can let me know, if you guys know what the first movie is when he turns on the TV, because I know Carrie Fisher, his wife, she's got the fucking demonology book in her hands, and they're sitting there talking about it. And Ray's like, "Oh well, Art said that the Klopeks are the devil incarnate," and all this stuff. Like this is where Art's really getting into his fucking head now because they're in the basement. They got the demonology book out, and yeah, Ray, you're chanting, Ray. What are you gonna do when they tear out your kids' livers and make it for some kind of satanic pack or whatever? And all this shit. But you know, I mean, I won't. It's, you know, guys are. I know you guys are familiar with this movie. I won't spoil it, but like, I feel like you know, at the end, man, Ray's got every right to be so pissed off at Art. Man, he really does. Anthony said, I was already watching horror at 6 years old, had no time for Mr. Rogers. Yeah, I juggled the both of them, man. I juggled a lot of that stuff. Even like Reading Rainbow. I used to love watching Reading Rainbow as a kid, but I was, I had a sister that was 10 years older than me. And me and my brother would rely on her a lot for her to rent us movies. But a lot of times I'd be flipping through the channel. Like, no, I'm acting like I have a remote. No, it'd be a giant knob on the fucking wooden TV. Loud clicker, click, click, click. And we'd be flipping through the TV, and then right away, like my brother would tell me, like, usually I was the one flipping through it. My brother would be like, stop, stop. Oh, this looks interesting. And then we would find like a horror movie. And my brother would be like, go grab a tape. Let's tape this one. We would just grab a tape, throw it in the machine, start hitting record. Or we're at the bedroom scene now. Like, what is this movie? Like, is this like Mark of the Devil? Or like it's some kind of devil worship movie because they're doing a human sacrifice on that blonde hot chick there. And he flips the channel and it's the exorcist scene when Reagan's throwing up the pea soup into the priest's face. And then he flips it one more time and it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I gotta love how the dog's watching the TV too, turning his head. The look on Tom's face, oh my god. Like that is not the shit he needed to see before going to bed, right? All right, let's take a second here before I forget to just share out some channels. Let's do this. All right. I mean, anyone that's blue, how about maybe we can make this easier. Anyone that's blue that has a wrench, you can share out links. So share your own channel down in the chat there. And if I probably would be, just to confirm that, if you just make sure you put your channel title there too, and then share the link. But anyone that's blue with a wrench, you can share links. This is where the chainsaw comes through the wall, goes through the staircase, cuts the family picture in half. You know what? No, we got to pay attention to this scene because this is the dream sequence coming up here. So after this, I'll get to the channel links. Oh man, Ray Peterson, don't let them do to you what they did to me. She cracks me up. Yeah, they got him. They got him opened up now for a sacrifice on this giant grill with these horned creatures with hooded cloaks on. Ah! Satan is our pal. The devil is good. Satan is our pal. I got the glow back with the chain on the fucked up teeth. Ray Peterson, don't let them do to you what they did to me. Oh, I bet that hurts, huh? Even Art coming in as the axe murderer that killed his family, the ice cream guy. Yay, yay, yay. Yay, yay. You didn't happen to see an ice pick around here, did you, Ray? And the Clopex saying, mind your own business with the ice pick right into his fucking chest. And he wakes up from the nightmare. It's a great scene. And he wakes up the next day and it's Mr. Rogers on TV. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's get to some channel links now. All right. Oh, shit. I accidentally deleted a comment by Anthony. God damn it. How did I do that? I'm sorry about that, Anthony. I deleted one of your comments. I was trying to click on your name there. I didn't mean for that to happen. As long as I don't. That's good to see your channel's at 100 subscribers even. That's good. But yeah, we'll get your channel shared out there. I am subscribed to you. Yeah, I mean, if you want to resend that, if you want to reply again with that comment, that's fine. I'm sorry. I think what happened was I clicked on your name and I hit delete comment like by accident. I didn't mean to do that though. But that's Anthony Mendola's channel there. We'll get Froggy the Gremlin's channel. Yeah. I know he doesn't like have like an official channel, but we're gonna get that shared out anyway. Yeah, I gotta say, man, Carrie Fisher, even though she's got that mom look going on, I'd still fucking slam shit out of her in this movie, man. This is where Ray's dog's digging under the fence, under the neighbor line. So he's gonna end up finding a bone. But I swear to God, man, it's like every time you get to the porch, the more you get to the porch, it seems like it gets more and more fucked up. There's more dirt, more leaves. But they're actually on the porch right now, Rumsfeld and Art. And Ray's taking a nap out in the yard. And this is where they're trying to put the note under the door. All right, we'll get Greg's channel. They're gonna ring the doorbell and run here, right? Yeah, because they put that note under the door, and they're running now. Like, what a bunch of pussies, though. And then the door opens up a little bit. You see a hand come out and grab the note. So yeah, I know we got a thin chat here tonight. We got 4 people in the chat. Get Anthony Jovit. Go to channel. Share. Copy that. I gotta get Caveman's channel shared out too. Where's Caveman? Wait, that's it. I guess I can't do that on this device. I'll have to do it this way. This other device I have is like it's such an old cell phone, and yeah, it doesn't allow me to do much. Which is why I can't stream with this fucking piece of shit. Trying to find Caveman's channel. He was here. Like, why is his comments like they're gone now? There it is. Why can't I copy and paste that here? Why am I not finding his comment? This. You know what? Let's just do it this way. This is where the dog comes up with the femur bone in its mouth, and they're trying to figure out where the dog got the bone from, and they're realizing he dug it up through the neighbor house line there, the property line. Right, there's no doubt anymore. This is real. Your neighbors are murdering people. Ray, this is Walter. And they're seeing through the fence lines. They're seeing that one of the Klopeks are walking back there. They're so terrified of them, though. Why can't I find Caveman movies and more channel? Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Ah, here he is. Share. Copy that. All right. We'll get that shared out now. Damn. Tom Hanks got whacked in the face at the door. Bad timing. And yeah, there goes Caveman's channel. Yeah, if you guys can, subscribe to each other, support each other. So where was I at? And between Rumsfeld's wife and Carrie Fisher, my God. I know, Tom Hanks, he should stop hanging out with these neighbors. He should be slamming his wife right now. He goes buying into all this murdering neighbors bullshit, man. He should be having sex with his wife. That's what I'd be doing, especially with that hot piece of ass. Jesus Christ. So now they all decide. His wife's got the most rational idea here. Look, why don't we just go over there and introduce ourselves? And Rumsfeld with the plate of brownies in his hand. The way he's holding that shit, though. He's holding that shit like he's some kind of like waiter at a restaurant. Oh, this is where I left off. Right here. So yeah, Anthony's saying Tales from the Dark Side, so it fucking rips too. Yeah, man. Especially like the very first episode, the Trick or Treat episode, the Halloween night one, man, love that episode. Then that Tom Savini episode with the monster in the closet. Fuck, that's a good one, man. That's another show that gave me some sleepless nights as a kid. And still to this day, I gotta say to this day, Tales from the Dark Side intro is still the scariest intro of all time. I, if you disagree, that's fine. But tell me what is better than that. Tell me what is more scary. What is a more scarier intro than that Tales from the Dark Side intro? It's just, oh my God. Like, that's the type of show, I swear to God. Like, that's like, because I know that used to come on like the Sci-Fi channel. Like, I forget what else. No, you know what used to come on like the PBS televised station. That's right. It used to come on PBS. There'd be times where I'd had the TV running and I'd be like playing with my toys or whatever, and that show would come on. I would stop what I'm doing and I'd be like, I would just immediately go over the TV and I'd be like, fuck, this show's on again. The scariest show, man. Yeah, I've always loved Tales from the Dark Side, man. I have all those on DVD. I would love to get those, and also Tales from the Crypt, man. I would love to see HD upgrades. Like, we don't even need 4Ks for that, man. Just something in the Blu-ray format, something in high definition, man. So now, the neighbors are finally meeting the Klopeks here. Finally in the house. And the timestamp. Get to the timestamp in a few seconds here. Coming up on 55 minutes in a few seconds here. Yeah, I'm at 55 minutes right now. Yeah, the European tales are lame. Yeah, the 7th season. Fuck that shit, man. I think that's what you're talking about, the 7th season from Tales from the Crypt, but man, that shit doesn't even scratch the surface with being good quality horror. It's just, no, man. Some people like the 7th season, that's fine, but I tried, man. Rumsfeld, sticking his nose where it shouldn't be. He's fucking around with some wallpaper. He ends up ripping the shit out of it. But man, the sardine on the pretzel is so gross. I can't believe Tom Hanks actually ate that shit. And, with it being in the movie, his wife's like, yeah, go ahead, eat it. Like, you should eat the sardine and the pretzel. I would have been like, no, you eat this shit, man. Why are you eating one? And he's saying Ghoulies 2 dominates Ghoulies 1. Yeah, I would have to agree. I like both movies. Like, I I could probably say that I do like them both equally, but if I have to pick one, yeah, Ghoulies too. You know, you get better puppet work in it. The effects are better. I guess they probably had a better budget to work with. Who was that? John Carl Buechler, who directed those and did some of the effects work with other people and his crew to get that movie accomplished and executed. But very fun movies though, really are. Oh, they're bringing out the pretzels now and the sardines. God, I'd be like, no, you couldn't even. You'd have to throw in like we'd have to be talking like $50-$100 for me to eat a sardine on a pretzel. Like that's the only way you'd get me in the conversation. Oh God, that thing is so big. Ew, and it's like covered in shit too. Tom. He looks at his wife, and his wife's like, "Yeah, go ahead." Oh man, and the look on Ruben's face. Rumsfeld's calling him Rube. Hey, Rube. Yeah. You hear that shit squishing around too in his mouth. God. Klopek. What is that, Slavic? No! What a fucking sharp no that is right there. No! Anthony's saying supposedly Tom Hanks was living in those fucking churches with the homeless people and shit during the Blossom Buddies. I know, yeah, Tom Hanks did. He did direct, I think, an episode or two of Tales from the Crypt. I know he did that. The fuck's that episode? It's a good episode too. Morning Mess. His wife is in that. I can't remember if Tom actually directed that. I'm gonna say he probably did because his wife is in it. But that's a good one. It also has the creepy guy from the subway in the movie Ghost. That real fucked up looking guy, with the frizzy, crazy hair. Almost looks like he could be like Pennywise if he had the clown makeup on or something. But yeah, I know Tom Hanks directed like one or two episodes. I know he pops up as an actor in one of the Tales from the Crypt episodes, but I know his wife is in that Morning Mess episode that's from season 3, which I think is one of the better episodes. Really good story in that one, so. Yeah, sorry about that, Anthony. I was like trying to get your channel highlighted. I was like, fuck. Did I just ban him from the stream? And I was like, oh, I deleted one of his comments. Shit. Because like that shit will happen sometimes too, man. I've accidentally like kicked people out of chats on streams by accident just by hitting the wrong button on something. But yeah, hopefully that shit won't happen. Oh, all right. All right, yeah, dude, names are tough, man. They're really tough, but I'm glad you said that. So it's Mendiola. All right. Thank you. Like trust me, man. Someone like look at my first name. It's misspelled. I've got people calling me Scene and all types of fucking things. So like I can relate to how you feel about that right now. So yeah, sorry for butchering your name, but I'm glad you said that. Mendeola. All right, yeah, you can call me whatever you want though. It's good to see, you got a sense of humor, you got a good spirit over there. You don't get offended by things, but that can be irritating. Especially when like you tell someone how like what your name is and they just keep butchering your name. But like yeah, the spelling is that what was really throwing me off was where the E and the O comes in. I'm like, I think it's Mendola, but it's Mendeola. All right, that's pretty sure I'm saying it right, Mendiola. So now the head of them all comes out. The head Klopek comes out with surgical gloves on. My brother, the doctor. I'm terrible with accents. So his name is Werner Klopek. Ah, Ray Peterson. He shakes his head, that bloody ass surgical glove. That's enough right there to like, sell the idea of these people being murdering grave diggers, right? Sorry about that. Yeah, right. Man. I mean, I think we all had a thing for Carrie Fisher in Return of the Jedi during the Sarlacc pit scene in Jabba's palace, right? I know, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, hubba hubba hachi machi. Anthony saying we used to do ding dong dead just fucker who lives in our apartments and worked graveyard shift. Two fucking chased us down once, put his hands on my buddy, and I ran down the street and waited an hour to sneak out. Oh shit, we used to do that shit too, man. Oh man, my brother was a fucking menace though. I see my bro. I had a brother that was 2.5 years older than me, and I used to look. He was more of the devil. I was more of the angel, but he was more of the devil. And I would just learn from his mistakes. Like I'd see him get in trouble, and I'd be like, I don't want to go through that. Like, nah, I know not to do that shit. But like, yeah, we used to do, ding dong dish, knock knock zoom zooms, whatever you want to call it, zoomsies. But we used to do that shit. We used to have this guy that lived at the end of our block, and his name was Barry. And my brother and his friends would always be like, Barry! Scream his name loud as shit. And one day he had enough of that shit, dude. He came out of his house with nothing but fucking cut off jean shorts on and a baseball bat. And he was looking to fucking just fuck up anyone. I remember he came down the block and he's telling people's parents. I remember he actually yelled at my dad. My dad was coming out. He's like, Dennis, get your fucking kids and tell them to stop screaming my fucking name or I'm going to fucking kill them and all this shit. It was like, wow, dude, this is some real fucking block drama going on right now. But, me and my brother and his friends, man, we used to go into people's like vegetable gardens. We used to pick tomatoes and we would go to the top of the block. And we would hide in the bushes and peg cars and shit. People be fucking, getting out of the cars, chasing us down the streets and shit, man. Growing up and being a menace, man. Jesus Christ. The only thing I can say I miss about those days is just being young, man. Like it's going back and being a dickhead like that to people. Jesus Christ, man. I used to terrorize people. Oh man, growing up and having fun, right, at other people's expense. And he's saying that Klopex house wouldn't sell for less than $1.5 million here in California, yeah, right? I've never been to Cali, but I know it's expensive out there as far as like housing and everything. And of course, Ray's got to use the bathroom after fucking ingesting that sardine. And he's getting ready to go down the basement and shit. This giant dog comes out. What is that, like a Doberman? The thing's big as shit. Yeah, gotta love Rumsfeld there. What do you keep a horse in the basement? I forgot Art's like spying. He's the one trying to get into the basement and shit. And this is where the dog's gonna chase him down. That's one big ass doggy. Yeah, dark side intro, 100% scariest intro ever made, right? Like, if someone's got a better one, just, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm open to people's opinions, but I just want to, if there's a scarier one, I want to know what it is. Art falling over the fence here, got the alarm bells going off and all this shit. We've imposed on you enough for the evening with the Klopex here, and they caught Art spying on him and shit. But now everyone's finally met each other. Everyone's been acquainting here, everyone's gotten acquainted with each other. But Reuben Klopek, man, he's really got the look for a, you know, fucked up family that's up to something, right? With that fucking nose and that fucking grin, long face grin that he has. Greg Brewer saying Demon Knight celebrates 30 years this year, I think. Yeah, it was like the official anniversary date, I believe, was back in February. But yeah, it is 30 years old this year. So, you know what, man? I'd be open to doing like a watch party for that when we get closer to Halloween or something. And to me, I think that's the best Tales from the Crypt movie. I'm not even a fan of Bordello of Blood. I don't think Dennis Miller's funny. I never thought he was funny. And I don't think he's good in that movie. I think he makes the movie worse. But I know there is a fairly decent, or I guess a fairly big fan base for Bordello of Blood, because I hear people always speak about how they love Bordello of Blood. So that there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. I just don't find it to be a very very watchable movie. But like the rewatchable value on it is just like meh. And then you got that 2002 movie that does have what's his name in it? Am I drawing a blank on his name? Tim Curry. Got Tim Curry in it. That movie called Ritual. When you get the crypt keeper with fucking dreadlocks and shit with a Jamaican accent. Not a very good movie either, but I'll just say this. I'll take Ritual over Bordello of Blood. That's how much I don't like it. But yeah, you're right there, Greg. It is 30 years old this year. Yeah, I do have that one on VHS, and I can actually pull it out. It's not like all stacked away. Yeah. It's in fairly good condition. Still has a 99-cent. Damn, it's covered in dust. Got a 99-cent price tag on it on the top. But yeah, there it is right there. I found this one at a flea market recently. Or no, maybe not recently. I think it was probably like a year or two ago. I found this at a flea market. It was only $1. Fairly good condition. I mean, it still has the gloss shine on it. Corners are really not dinged up on it, but I know my glare is fucking that up, so let's do this. Wait, how come? We'll just get rid of that light. Man, that light sucks. There we go. And a little bit of shit on the back there. But I gotta really figure out a better lighting unit here to when I want to like put something on screen. It's not gonna glare up and everything. It's really frustrating to deal with sometimes. It's the next day, and the trash is still out in the street from these idiots go through the trash looking for body parts and shit. And now the Klopex, like it almost looks like they're about to go on vacation. They even got the dog in the car and everything, and they're driving through all that nasty trash. Dramatic music, because now all the neighbors know we can go into their house. We're gonna find some dead bodies. We're gonna get these motherfuckers. But this is like the epic showdown of all the drama on the block of this murdering gravediggers, the Klopex. Shit, where'd I leave off? Oh yeah, I was just on that comment. But yeah, I guess Anthony, if I had to assume, man, it seems like you probably have an extensive VHS collection, which is if that is the situation with that, that's cool to see. But I do see there is some content on your channel too. I'll have to get over there and take a look at what's on your channel and everything. But yeah, I am subscribed. I see you got 100 subscribers, so it's good to see. Yeah, Ray's wife and kid there, and the 2 dogs. I guess she has Walter's dog, Queenie. Somebody does, right? But yeah, they're going up to the cabin, their vacation house, I guess, for the next couple of days. And look at Art's golfing outfit with those green pants and that red hat, man. Jesus Christ. Anything, talk about over exaggerating, but doing anything to make sure that no one suspects that they're up to what they're going to be up to with, breaking into the Klopex house. And Corey's calling up all his friends, like, oh man, you guys got to come down here, man. It's going to be live, man. Something's about to happen. I can't tell you what, but something's about to happen, man. Yeah, Greg saying, I love the Tales from the Crypt series. Watch it all the time. Yeah, man. Yeah. I truly never get tired of it, man. I can watch that shit forever. I just wish we, I know there is ways to buy unofficial HD prints of the Tales from the Crypt series, but I just wish we had like a legit box set at this point. Like maybe newer artwork too with the original comic book stills and everything. But yeah, I just I don't. If I had to assume, I guess Warner Brothers still owns Tales from the Crypt because it was originally a Fox thing, and I know Fox eventually sold it to Warner Brothers. But if that's the case with that, then, like, what the fuck is Warner Brothers doing? Because to me personally, I think they're sitting on a gold mine right now, and they could be making good money off of selling box sets of those 7 seasons or 6 seasons. Sardines kind of okay. Anthony saying sardines kind of smell good. My dad ate that shit. I can't do it. Nah, they don't look like they smell good, but God, get me away from that shit. No raw fish or nothing like that for me. I can't even do sushi, man. Oh man, this is where Art falls off of the fucking. He's acting like he's the cable guy and shit. Falls off the power lines. I love when you look at his hands. His fingernails are black. It looks like a couple volts of electricity just went through his body and shit. It's oh man, I took a jolt there. He got Rumsfeld giving him smelling salts and shit so he can come back to his senses. Like you think that'd be enough for them right there? After that situation. Ray, my fingernails are black. Oh, my fillings are hot. Ah. And he's like, look, Art, you hit the right wire. There's no alarm. I'm going to set up the communications. Yeah, I guess I lived on this block. I'd be hanging out with Corey, and I'd be like, look at these fucking old jackasses. I'm kind of surprised Corey Feldman even got the job for this, man. Because, at this point, he was running a little rampant with the partying, man. Surprised he was even trusted to follow through with this role. Hey, Rumsfeld, what are you doing with the gun? Hey, just shut up and paint your goddamn house. Oh, fine, man. Shut up and paint your goddamn house, you meatball. That nun is my favorite line in the movie. It used to be Mendiola. Okay. Yeah, people call me Greg before. Yeah, I know people that have like the name Gregory. Like, yeah, they get that miscommunicated with Craig. It's got the same sound going. It's got that rag in there. That rag because Craig kind of has this CRA kind of Y in there. So the egg and egg, they sound the same. I yeah, I could see that happening there with your name, Greg. Yeah, yeah, man. I'm telling you, like, there would even be times where I wouldn't be hanging out with my brother, and I'd be like in the living room, and I would hear Barry, all this shit. I'd be like, oh shit, my brother and his friends are fucking with that guy. It's like that's like, oh man, like they would get that echo on that shit and everything, like like, oh my god, dude. And then finally, man, he lost it and just came up the block one day with just cut off shorts on, no shirt or nothing, baseball bat in his hand. Dennis, get your fucking son in the house. I'm gonna fucking kill him right now. Like holy shit, man. Oh yeah, we used to do that too. We used to steal people's fucking Christmas lights. You just unscrew one, the whole line goes out and shit. We used to do that too, man. But yeah, Anthony said we used to steal Christmas ornaments. My favorite was banging on the door, yelling, "We're stealing all your shit because you wanted them to chase us." Yeah, fuck up the just fucking up people's Christmas spirit and shit for the year. Oh my God. God. I'm glad I grew up since then, man, but yeah, I'd say me and my brother, we were fucking devils, but my brother was more the devil. I was more of like, "Oh, I see what he's doing. I'm not doing that shit. I'm staying away from that shit." Damn, like the wet bandits from Home Alone. Yeah, Greg, exactly. Well, in the movie here, it's kinda like that too. Oh, yeah, they're in the house now. And apparently, something's going on with the All-Star game right now. Maybe Kyle Schwarber hit a home run. Yeah, they're getting down in the basement now. Now we're finally seeing the basement, man. That does look like a very horrific basement with all the spider webs. You see a couple of rats down there and shit. So now Corey's got all of his fucking douchebag friends over, man. Hey, when's the big unveiling, man? Hey, man, piss off. He's sitting on the roof, sipping out of a thermos and eating animal crackers and shit. Like, talk about an old head, you know? Animal crackers. I don't even think kids eat animal crackers anymore. People, they still make those things, animal crackers? Jesus Christ. I think the only way I could eat them is if I was like starving for a couple weeks with nothing else to eat. Anthony say you gotta come to California, come to San Diego. Everything else sucks there right now. Yeah, it looks. I mean, just San Diego seems like they have like the perfect weather out in California. I mean, if I was able to like pick an area in California, I probably would want to go to like visit San Francisco or really San Diego too, just to experience all that. But furthest out west I ever been is Chicago, man. That's not even really west. That's barely west. That's like the beginning of the west, really. Anthony's saying, gotta disagree with you on Bordello, but also I liked Miller until he got hired by the NFL. Okay, it's hey man, you're entitled to your opinion there. Man, I don't even remember Dennis Miller getting hired by the NFL. Jesus Christ, that must have been awful. I never, I found him to just be such a dry, funny guy. And, I just, when he talks, I hear crickets. Oh, yeah, it's a scene now at Rumsfeld falling off the roof. Hey, Rumsfeld! He falls off the roof, takes a bad tumble, and then shoots out the fucking car, or shoots out the window on that car, on that Camaro. Yes, I'm all right. Hey, man, that was very cool. Like, yeah, like Rumsfeld set that up and wanted to fall off the roof for their entertainment. But now they got the hole dug in the basement here. This is another thing that makes the basement seem very horrific. Is just like the brick setting in the background too. It just, God, terrible basement to be in. Ray's obviously this is where Ray's gonna hit the gas line. Hey, Mr. Rumsfeld, you guys managed to take out all the power on the block, man. Probably the whole south end of the town. Becky, shut up. Rumsfeld's been telling him to shut the fuck up all night. Yeah, Anthony's saying, yeah, fuck yeah, VHS for life, man. Me and my band have over 900 tapes. Wow, that's cool, man. That's very, very, that's a lot of tapes there, man. You're dedicated. That's good to hear, man. So now the Klopeks are, they're back home. The sun's gone down. They're back home. They realize who's in the basement. The lights are on in the basement. Ruben and Juliet, the lights on. Anthony's saying, I just noticed the close up and Cheap is missing headrest when she drives off. It's there. Oh, all right, all right. You're talking about Ray's wife, I believe. Cheap, not cheap. Okay, all right. I respect that, dude. I don't really use it. It was just a way to post my band shit a zillion years ago. Okay. No, that's totally cool, man. Yeah, when you're in a band, you got to utilize like a platform like YouTube or social media. You have to. It just if you don't, you're just doing yourself and your band a disservice. But that makes perfect sense. But Anthony's saying, "Oh, he's got balls going up in there." He's so like it's just the idea of these people being murdering or murderous grave diggers. He's got obviously he's got the neighborhood and all these other guys sold on it, but you know he's basically just selling it all to himself too, man. Just delusions of grandeur. But now this station wagon's driving down the street and it's pulling into Walter's driveway. And Corey sees that. Oh man, I gotta go tell Rumsfeld. We're going to be coming up on the end in about 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. All right, look. Take a look at Walter's house. And they all see that Walter is alive and well. Oh no, we fucked up. Hold on, isn't there an official Tales from the Crypt DVD set? Yes, there's a DVD set. There's no Blu-ray set though. That's what I'm talking about. Like I had the individual releases. I could pull these out without fucking everything up here. Damn it. Give me a second. I'm just gonna pull out the first season. Like I have the individual comic book releases, but you can buy the DVD box set too, which was a later release with how you could buy everything. But yeah, like that's the first season there. I have these slide box editions that you can't get these slide box editions anymore. Or maybe you can for some of the seasons. I just know they can be very pricey compared to buying the actual sets that come in the DVD cases. Oh man, this is where Ray hits the oil line. And then he realized he hit the gas line. Art, I hit the gas line, run! And now the police have showed up and they're all running out of the house. We hit a pipe, there's all kinds of gas, it's gonna blow. Shit. Whoa, man. Holy shit. Corey and his friends. Man, that house is fucked. That house is super fucked. And you see Walter too, like his front window bangs out from all the implosion. He's like, man, I come home to this. I should have stayed the fuck out, right? Oh man, that fucking awning pole. I forgot about that. It lands dead center into the fucking dead center of the fucking cop car there, and all the roofs caving in. The whole house is coming down. Is that your house? Klopeks are all bummed out now. Right, yeah, Greg's right there. Two different editions that I was just talking about. Yeah, for the complete series. Yeah, Anthony's saying, yeah, because I remember last I looked, shit was like $100. Yeah, like those original ones, like the one I just pulled out, which I like. If you wanted those like slide box editions where like you pull this in and everything, like these are a lot more pricier now. That's how I own the show. I've had those for years now. Which have been a little hard to take care of too, man. That's another thing I like about Blu-ray compared to DVD. DVD scratch so much easier, and you can get dust that can get stuck on there like forever. Whereas with Blu-ray and 4K, that stuff stands the test of time. They're better material disc. But man, the reaction from Ray, Tom Hanks, and like his eyes all swollen, his sweater's all fucked up. But just the way he plays this out, like he even like slips and falls down the steps, almost like loses his balance. It's really good acting from Tom Hanks, man. You know what's a really good Tom Hanks movie too? I feel like it does not get enough credit is The Money Pit. You guys ever seen The Money Pit when he buys that shitty house? And it just keeps giving him nothing but problems. I forget the actress that's in it with him. But I feel like The Money Pit is a very underrated Tom Hanks movie. That's one that really makes me fucking laugh all the time. But you know what's another comedy I would love to do a watch party for that I really think is very underrated is Nothing But Trouble with Demi Moore and Chevy Chase and John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, which I think he wrote and directed that, or he had some kind of involvement in that besides his acting role in it. But yeah, Nothing But Trouble is another one. You guys might see me schedule that one on the channel at some point because I do have to, it's I do like to focus on horror movies. It's my number one thing, really. But I I want to try to get some comedies in too. So some point we're definitely going to do Team America. Yeah, just mentioned Nothing But Trouble. That's a movie I think so underrated, but I would love to do that one. Can't really think of many other ones. Four Rooms is one I want to do though. That's the anthology film that was written by Quentin Tarantino, or I think a story or two was written by him. But yeah, it's another one I want to do with Tim Roth as the bellboy in that, or the bellhop. Corey's a weirdo, dude. I know shit about him. Like, yeah, I know his music's fucking terrible. That's for sure. And now the police. Yeah, the police are here. There's some other. Almost looks like CIA agents are here or something now too. Take care of this nitwit. Art is a fucking nitwit. It really seems like there's like FBI agents here. You got these guys in suits. They got like like the identification on their jacket. They look like FBI agents. But this is where what's his name? Clint Howard's dad, Ron Howard's dad. He plays one of the cops in this. Yeah, I just know the like how I showed you the slide box edition is like all cardboard, but they stopped printing this, and now they come in DVD cases with like like an artwork sleeve. So that's like the only real difference. So now when you buy them, they come with plastic cases, like DVD cases. Before they didn't have all that. Yeah, look at you, Art. I'm a shell of a man because you. Get over here. I'm gonna fucking strangle you. Ray is right. He's like, Kovacs didn't do anything to us. He's like, we break into their house and we burn it down when they're gone for the day. Remember what you were saying about those people in the burbs? The people you like? The people who mow their lawn for the 800th fucking time? And then they snap. Well, that's us. Oh, it's good stuff, man. If only Ray would have minded his own business, listened to his wife. And unlike some people say, well, why would you ever want to listen to your wife? But if Ray just would have listened to his wife, he would have had a nice, clean vacation with no fucking issues. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the features are same. You just get less artwork though in those DVD cases. I know that because when you pull out the cardboard edition, slide box editions, you get some kind of artwork. I know like there's some artwork where you can get like the Crypt Keeper like playing in a band. You get him. There's one where he's like celebrating like New Year's Eve. There's one where he's like in bed with like a skeleton and all this shit. Yeah, those animal cookie boxes. Yeah. I love when he picks up that fucking stretcher and he just dives into the fucking ambulance. And Carrie Fisher, his wife's like, I'll just follow the ambulance to the hospital and I'll see what hospital you're going to. Okay, Carol, I'm fine. Shit was like dog food. Yeah, that is one thing about animal crackers. It's like eating chalk or something, or like dog biscuits or something like that. I just know that shit was so fucking chalky. Hey, we got the pizza guy coming, dude. Reuben Klofak's like, you imbecile. Hey, man, we got the pizza guy coming, dude. The ones with pink and white frosting are good, though. I didn't know they make alternate animal crackers. Didn't know they actually made different animal cracker cookies or whatever. You don't want to go to Frisco, dude. They break into your car at stoplights. I've heard. Like, I'm not fully I don't know like what the deal is in Fresco completely. I just know it's not one of the better places to be in California. Fucking fentanyl everywhere. Come to Philadelphia, dude. They don't call fucking Kensington Zombieland for no reason, man. But fentanyl affects every fucking major city, man. It really does. This neighborhood reminds me of the OG Fright Night. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's another one that's got an anniversary coming up very soon on August 2nd. That'll be 40 years old, Fright Night. It's a possibility we could do a stream for that one in August. We'll see. I've never really been the biggest fan of Fright Night. And just hear me out though. One of the reasons why is I like my vampire movies to be very straightforward and serious. Fright Night is more of a horror comedy. I enjoy the movie. I have it in my collection. I'm a fan of it. I just prefer more straightforward vampire films. Like how we did streams for Near Dark and Lost Boys. We did those a few weeks ago, almost like a month ago or whatever. But yeah, I just really prefer those type of movies. Like I just like movies like Interview with a Vampire, like Salem's Lot, the original '79 Salem's Lot, and even From Dusk Till Dawn. I like old school Dracula, Nosferatu style type of stuff, and I do like the horror comedy vampire stuff, but I will always take the more straightforward stuff over the horror comedy stuff. So Twilight Zone, a million things really. Yeah. Twilight Zone the movie, man. That's another favorite of mine. I had done a watch party for that before, long time ago. That's on the older channel that was terminated. So I am open to doing another watch along for that. And pizza guy's here. Go figure. He crashes into the fucking tree, and yeah, the Klofak's driving the fucking ambulance goes right in the fucking Art's house. Yeah, because now the older Klofak turns out he actually is a murdering psychopath, and he's trying to stab Ray with this green-filled liquid needle. But man, Corey and his friends are really getting a show tonight, right? Thank God they fucking called the pizza guy. Citizens arrest! All right, Ray Peterson, I'm placing you under citizen's arrest for my attempted murder. Oh, shit. Wait, you have the comics? No, I don't have the comics, but I have a comic. Where's that fucking thing? Where did I put this? I do have a volume 2 comic. It's a reissue. No way I have the originals. I can't find that fucking thing. Damn it. I just had it recently out here too. The only thing here it is. Here it is. I found it. This is a very thick Tales from the Crypt comic. See how big this thing is? Look how thick it is too. See how thick that thing is? And this is everything on the inside. I know that glares a motherfucker. Yeah, I think that's a little better. But that's everything that's on the inside there. But yeah, I think this thing was roughly like $17, which is well worth it considering how many pages are in it. But yeah, it's the EC Archives, Tales from the Crypt Volume 2. The Volume 1 is really expensive though, man. Fuck, dude. They wanted like 40 plus some dollars for that Volume 1, but this is the Volume 2, and yeah, very nice material on the pages and everything, man. These aren't just like paper pages, man. They're actually like very nice wax pages and everything. Nice material, but yeah, I love pulling this shit out around like the Halloween season. I actually still haven't gone through the whole thing yet. I bought this a couple years ago. I read a couple stories in it and I put it down. So I'm gonna probably open that thing back up again once Halloween comes around. All right, we're coming up on the end of the movie here really soon. Yeah. Or it's like, hey, where are you and Carol going? I'm going on vacation. Hey, we're gonna have major media here, man. They're gonna excavate the Clofax. Yeah, we're gonna have Geraldo here and all this shit. Oh god, man. Can you imagine though if they did a sequel to this? Now, not 20 years later, but imagine if they did a sequel a year or two later to this. Hard to say if it would have been effective and funny. I guess depending on if you had the right people in place, but I know I would have been interested to see a sequel. But not fucking 20, 30, 40 years later, though. I don't know. Let's not revamp that idea. It's not, call it in for a cash grab. And I see D is here, Derek over at Woo Riders. What's up there, Derek? Thanks for stopping in here at the end of the stream. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close this one down here. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to Anthony and Greg Brewer, and we had Froggy over at Froggy the Gremlin. He was hanging out with us here for quite a while. I know he was at work, and yeah, he hung out with us as long as he could. Anthony Chobit was here, Guy over at Caveman Movies and More. And drawing a blank on some other people, damn it. Can't really think right now, but just making sure I'm not missing anything very important here in the comments. Sequel in Compton would be fucking hilarious. Yeah, right, Anthony. Yeah, but it's thanks for hanging out here, Anthony. You definitely made the chat pretty fun. I know it was a thin chat, but you between you, Greg, and a couple other people, you guys made it very fun and interesting. So, but yeah, huge shout out to Greg though. Greg is always here with me, so I really appreciate that. Makes it more fun, and I mean that's one thing I got to say. For me to sit here and have no chat, no one to fucking do this with at all, I'd have to pull the plug on this shit. Just is what it is. But no, man, I had a great time with this here tonight. I'm glad that I decided to do this, and yeah, it was mainly influenced because of the fact that I did Joe Dante's Piranha before this just a couple days ago. On top of that, this is really up there as one of my favorite Joe Dante films, and I can never get through the summer season without watching The Burbs at least one time. So, but just trying to go back on comment. Oh, Shamarlos was here too. Scott was here for a little bit. That's about it, really. I think I covered everyone that was here. Yeah, it wasn't a very thick chat here tonight, but yeah, I know D over at Woo Riders, Derek. I know you got here late, but just is what it is. Not the end of the world, but yeah, the next stream on the channel. Right now, we are going to take a very small break until Saturday. So we'll be back with the zombie theme on Saturday. So this Saturday, July 19th. Right now, it's scheduled for 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might push that back an hour to 10 o'clock. So overall, I know on the weekends I am trying to go live. I'm trying to go live a little bit earlier on the weekends, and then during the week I'll probably stick with the 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. But I think this Saturday though I'm going to go live. I'm going to probably push that back to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, so that'll be the 40th anniversary for George A. Romero's zombie film Day of the Dead. So yeah, it's been 40 years since that film has been around, and I haven't watched that one in quite a while. I know that's probably out of like the original Romero's Dead trilogy. That's probably like the less appreciated one, but I love that movie. I really love it. And another thing that's really good about that movie is, Tom Savini's gore effects and zombie effects it's very groundbreaking stuff in that movie. And I feel like just that alone just goes overlooked by a lot of people who are fans of the genre. But yeah, we should have a good time with that one this Saturday. And then after that, this Tuesday, July 22nd, will be the 20th anniversary for Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects. And then more than likely, we'll have the rest of the month open to get to Greg's request there with Hobo with a Shotgun, and we'll probably do Grindhouse with Death Proof and Planet Terror. But yeah, we'll end this here in a minute. We'll take this up to 2:05 here. in just a minute. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any kind of requests that you guys would like to see a watch party for, as long as you guys are going to show up for it, I'll take the request. I know sometimes it could take me a little longer to get to the request and everything. It just, I like to place things a certain way when I do streams. But yeah, I am open to hearing requests and all that. So yeah, you can just go ahead and leave a request on a community post or whatever it is that you want to do. But yeah, thank you all very much for joining me here tonight for Joe Dante's The Burbs. I had a good time with doing this one. And maybe I'll see you all again on Saturday. So take care, be safe, and I'll see you all in the next one, everyone.